Hi kids and welcome to our session for today. We are going to start this one with a game called Your Line Sounds Familiar. What we need to do is to read the following lines and guess from what stories they are. So what's going on here is I'm going to show you some lines from different stories in different shows and you just need to guess what those shows are. Without further ado, let us begin. Line number 1. Grandma, what big eyes you have. Oh, it's for me to see you better. If your answer is Little Red Riding Hood, you are correct. Line number 2 says, let down your hair so I can climb. If your answer is Rapunzel, you are correct. Line number 3, it says, I'm gonna be the Pirate King. If your answer is One Piece, you are correct. Line number 4, the house is made of sweets. If your answer is Hansel and Gretel, you are correct. And line number 5 says, mirror, mirror on the wall, who's the fairest of them all? If your answer is Snow White, you are correct. And that's it for our game called Your Line Sounds Familiar. Now, why do you watch these shows or read these stories? What's your reason? That's right. You all have your own reasons why you watch these shows and why you read these stories. Some of you are probably bored. That's why you consume the contents of these stories and these shows. And just like how you have your reasons for watching or reading these stories, the authors too have their own reasons why they created them. Those reasons are actually called purpose in some other words. So today we are going to talk about the purpose of the author. Let's find out the different purposes of the authors and their different reasons of why they write or they make those contents. First, what is purpose? When we say purpose, it talks about why the author writes about something. It's about the reason. It's about what they want to achieve, what they want to get, what their goal is while creating those stories, what they have in mind while creating those stories. There are 3 main purposes they usually have in mind while creating those stories, and let's talk about those 3 common purposes. First one is to entertain. When the author wants to share something that pleases the reader, his purpose is to entertain. If the author wants you to feel certain emotions, it can be happiness, it can be sadness, it can be fear, or any other emotions they have in mind, their purpose is to entertain. For example, these stories, Snow White, Cinderella, Little Red Riding Hood, all of these have the purpose of entertaining the readers. That's it. Can you think of any other stories or texts or probably show that has the purpose of entertaining you? I bet you can. Well, let's have number 2. The purpose is to inform and to explain. Now, if the purpose of the author is this, it means they want to share information and to help people understand something. Let's say, for example, they want to talk about a certain topic. If they are sharing information, if they are sharing knowledge and expounding those pieces of information, and they want the readers to learn something from what you're writing, that means their purpose is to inform and to explain. For example, we have dictionary. Of course, it shares information about words, specifically unfamiliar words, and their meaning, how to pronounce them, and what part of speech they are. Next one is newspaper. Of course, it shares information about what's going on. We have different educational texts. It can be textbooks, it can be educational articles, and so on. And of course, we have educational shows like the ones you find in YouTube, like Cocomelon. You have video clips from Teacher Rachel, and like this one, the one that you're watching now. It's an educational show, right? Finally, we have to describe. If the author wants to help the reader imagine or visualize something with his text or with his story, that means his purpose is to describe. This kind of text usually contains adjectives, of course. The author uses adjective in order to describe what he wants to describe. It can be a person, it can be a place, and so on. For example, this one. This text is trying to describe a playground. Let's read it. The playground was bright and colorful. There were swings that squeaked as kids swung high into the air and a big red slide that curved all the way down. As you can see, there are lots of adjectives in this text because the author wants to describe something. And that's it for our purposes of the author. I hope you learned something from this session, and if you have any questions, just let me know. I'll see you all on the next one.